I've been to a lot of countries in Africa, but South Africa was something special. Let's talk about it. Now, my original reason for going to Africa, the continent, the motherland, as some people call it, was for a few different reasons, right? And I had three mainly that come to mind. The first thing was about socializing. You know, being a Black American, being raised inside of, America, it's a mixed bag. You have some people that are accepting of you, given your race that you were born with, and you have some people that are not. I wanted to experience a lifestyle around people that wouldn't judge me based off of my skin, just maybe to be judged based off of the content of my character, right? So I said Africa would be the perfect place. A lot of people look just like me. Secondly, I'd have to say it's because of affordability. Now, when it comes to America, man, golly, boy, it is expensive. Now, this doesn't mean that you're broke if you would like to travel to other countries. This doesn't mean that you don't have the money to live in America, but it does mean, for the life that you may want to live, America might not be best suited. At some point they said it was the American dream. You can get a house and a car and a goldfish and 2 jits for about $20 a month. Now, we talking about maybe $1 million a month, give or take, in whichever state you in. So I said, I need to find a place that I can call home that is not going to be too taxing. Thirdly, I wanted to actually experience real culture. I mean, can you blame me? America, they have their own culture, as they say, but I don't know, man. A lot of these holidays and things like that, they say Thanksgiving and they want to call it this other day. And you're thinking to yourself, is this really, I thought this was a day of happiness and this and that. But when we really start to look into these holidays in America, we kind of start to realize it's not a day to be celebrated. A lot of things that we do here, Christmas is all for capitalism. A lot of stuff, Black Friday, even that isn't good when it comes to culture. So a lot of these things, man, I said to myself, this probably isn't the best fit for me. I want to see real culture, people that have been here for hundreds of thousands of years. I want to see people that have built empires. I want to see what has happened in the previous history of these countries. So Africa was a perfect place, right? Now, the beautiful thing when I went to South Africa was I thought I was actually still in America, right? Now, of course, I'm trying to get away from America, but there was some happiness to be back inside of a Western kind of country, because when you travel to so many other countries and, the infrastructure is a bit lower than what you're used to, seeing how South Africa has progressed their infrastructure was a beautiful thing to me. I was so shocked and blown away, because I said, these people have done so much here. Their country is damn near like a utopia, when you compare it to other African countries. I mean, to me personally, at least when it comes to business and when it comes to places I'm willing to lay my money in and do legitimate business, South Africa is the place that I go to do these things. It is beautiful, that they can get the land right and they can get the infrastructure, but I'm more appreciative that this is a country in Africa that has legitimate business practices. You get land, you actually know it's yours and it's written in your name. You start a business, it's actually yours, it's written in your name. They have things that were more fitting to me, especially when it comes to the business end. So shout out to South Africa for that. Beautiful infrastructure. I was even surprised. I said, damn, they got all this stuff and the McDonald's, for some fat American, they go, oh, this is great. Excuse me, I didn't mean to say I meant to say big boned. So excuse me, I was using the past generic term for big people. I meant big boned. Anyways, when I first arrived in South Africa, I was greeted amazingly. I mean, the immigration officers, they were very respectful. The police were very kind. It was actually something I wasn't really used to. Typically when you go to other countries that may have other complexions, and their immigration officers, I've just noticed a bit of hostility. Kind of like some extra questions. Why are you coming in our country? Oh, you coming in for what? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You really got to be here right now. I'm like, yeah, bro, I'm just trying to visit. I got some things to tend to. Maybe some honeys, maybe some business. Who knows? I'm just saying. So, but other people with other complexions, sometimes immigration officers weren't too greeting, and weren't too quick to stamp that, passport. But I was actually very surprised, how easy it was to enter. I don't even think you need to have a visa to enter South Africa. Actually, you don't. All you need is simply to bring your passport, and I think you need some pages left inside of your passport book, and they'll just stamp you and give you 3 months. So that was really nice to see, 90 days to be exact. That was really nice to see. But everything went downhill when I created this YouTube video. So far, I've talked to about 20 South Africans. First impression, a lot of South Africans, their English is not as good as I thought it would be, but I guess it would be hard to be fluent in 3 different languages. So a lot of them, they speak Zulu, and there's these other languages that people speak out here too. I can't remember all the names for them, etc. But I just got here, y'all, I'm learning. So that's one thing. Kenyans English is definitely way better. Kenyans can understand. So I made a video based off of the first 20 people that I ran into in South Africa. And a lot of people, I don't think, actually heard what I said in the video. And a lot of people, they're online trolls, and they were so upset and reactionary instead of actually listening to what I said. The first thing I said on this video was, I complimented South Africans because I said it must be difficult to learn 3 languages. South Africans, they speak a variation of languages. I said Zulu, the other languages, and English. So I said, man, that must be hard. So I said, a lot of South Africans that I ran into from the first 20 people that I met in South Africa, I said, I don't think the English too good. Now, from what I found out in the comments, a lot of people had let me know, they said, no, some of those people that probably talked to you and you thought they were South African, they were probably Zimbabwean or coming from other countries, but just claiming to be South African. So that was a big shocker to me, right? Because these people were telling me they were South African, but regardless, got a lot of hate for that. The next issue that I got a lot of hate for was me saying this. People's vibe is pretty cool. I guess that's the third thing that I can mention. The vibes is very cool. I plan to travel around South Africa, see different parts. Number 4, there's a lot of skin bleaching. Like a lot of ladies, like their skin bleaching. I'm like, wow, your skin is so beautiful. But there's no way I could convince a woman that her skin is beautiful given the fact that her environment tells her it's not, or the environment normalizes skin bleaching. So that part is a bit unfortunate. Originally, getting into the country of South Africa, I ran into a lot of light-skinned women, right? And while some actually looked like they were born light-skinned, there was one that I saw that I said, she's definitely did some type of thing to her skin. And the first person that ever came around me in South Africa was a South African woman that had skin bleach, which I later found out from the comments that, or somebody that messaged me in the DMs, oh, she probably wasn't really South African, blah, blah, blah. So I even noticed too, a lot of ladies that I would see on, in South Africa on Instagram, they would look lighter than what they do look like in real life or on their actual profile pictures. So I said to myself, I said, okay, so there must be a lot of people here that be skin bleach. And mind you, I just got to the country. Now, this offended a lot of people too. I'm here on this channel to keep it raw and real. I talk about what I immediately seen, and that triggered the internet. And it's sad because I said to myself, I love my South African brothers and sisters. For the mentally stable ones and the good ones, I love them. You know what I'm saying? I don't care in what variation they come in. I was treated great in real life. Online, the online internet trolls, the online internet congregation in South Africa, they had a whole issue with me. Cancel him, he's a mean guy. All this stuff. I made a video talking about how Nigerians and South Africans should unite. I said there should be more initiatives put forward so that, we can get the good Nigerians to do business with the good South Africans. And I said we're more powerful in numbers. That also got me canceled as well. So I realized at the end of the day, you can't please everybody when it comes to this good old internet, right? And I said, it just is what it is. I'm not preaching bad content. I'm not preaching something bad. I'm just saying my observations. And I said, not all Nigerians are scammers. That offended a lot of South Africans too online. So if you don't plan to run your mouth on the internet, South Africa is for you, because while all that stuff was happening online, in real life, I didn't have any issues with any South Africans at all in the entire South Africa. This is a fact. When it came to meeting in person and speaking with people, most of the South African people I ran into, great people to me. I will give props to South Africa for this. I noticed they're progressive in a lot of ways, and that can be beneficial based on what your society or what you want from your society, right? Like in America, there's a lot of focus on racism. In South Africa, the South Africans had told me, from all the ones I ran into, we don't want to focus on, racism. We want to focus on, trying to unify with our white South African brothers and sisters. I'm all for it. Hey, if that's how you choose to run your country, what can I say? All I'm saying is that was something cool to see, a different kind of lifestyle, that progressiveness, and that already had matched one of the things I wanted to avoid, basically when it comes to the things I was looking for in the country. I was looking for less racism, and I didn't run into any racist police. I didn't run into any racist, business owners, even when they were white. The white South Africans I ran into were very good to me as well. That was one thing to knock off of the list. Another thing was affordability. I mean, man, South Africa, and I'm going to do a whole separate video on this. If you guys want to see it early, check it out on the patreon.com/traveltriberaw. But I was able to experience the most beautiful, most amazing apartments and penthouses for a reasonable price, especially if you're an American. The price was very well fitted. So I had a good time doing that. When I talk about trying to experience great people, luckily when I went to South Africa, I was bombarded by a whole bunch of amazing South Africans that vowed to show me around and all this stuff. And they just welcomed me in with open arms. So that was really nice. I had a lovely lady come with me to Cape Town. We had a great time over there, tried out a few different restaurants, got to experience a few different things, got to see the beautiful views. For me, Cape Town, it's top 3 cities on the planet. It's so beautiful there, you guys. And it's one of those things where you're like, this is clearly God made this, because this can't just be man-made. I mean, the beautiful mountain view with the ocean right there. I mean, guys, it left me speechless, honestly. When I talk about meeting great people, I had an invite to go to a bride party where a whole bunch of people, they cooked for me their version of barbecue. And they were out on the grill and put their spices on it and stuff. And I was like, man, this tastes good. I got to learn a little bit of the culture and this little, I'm a piano dance. I ain't gonna do it. I ain't no dancer. But there was a, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of fun. It was kind of fun. I didn't really do the dancing. I left that to the ladies and the fellas, but I had a good time there. There was definitely so much to do in South Africa. I mean, clubs, history museums. I got to learn about Zulu history, which was something I was super, that was really on my bucket list for a while too, because I've been to a lot of countries in Africa, but the Zulu history was very important for me because of everything I learned about Zulu in America. So that was nice to see. I also got to experience the safaris. I got to experience just a nice walk on the beach, just great people. It was such a great, friendly country to go to, guys. So that's something I'll say about South Africa, at least when it comes to the great people, right? So if you're looking for a very progressive country, similar to America, but they have their own twist, you guys need to go to South Africa. The experience was one in a lifetime. I mean, man, there's many countries in Africa that are beautiful and that have their own great things and traits about them. But South Africa was something special. Definitely check it out. And, at the end of the day, all the hate comments, it's all love, And the good thing is, at least I get to leave South Africa with this amazing nickname they gave me, Vote Sick. All right, y'all. Like, comment, and subscribe. We go holla.